Hi James, Max here. This is just a quick overview of your next 6 weeks, which includes training, nutrition, goals, periodization, habits, etc. Now, what I'd recommend is really getting used to the app, playing around with it, reading what I've put, etc. It's quite simple to use. For you, the most important thing is just looking at what your schedule is for each day and then just following it accordingly. As I said in the consultation, the more data you give me through this, the more advice and sort of evidence-based opinions I can give you. And those that generally get results are those that really work with the app and sort of spend 20 minutes a day on it. So what I'll do, I'll quickly go through it and then you can ask me any questions at the end. So what I always start with when I look at, when I do these, is just looking at your periodization. So this is just done on a Google Sheets form. I showed this yesterday, and it's essentially just the weeks, each block basically split up, and it's essentially just a bird's eye view of looking at what we're doing and what we're doing in sort of each criteria of improving your health. So phase 1, or block 1 that you'll see me call it, your behavior that we're looking for here in terms of there's essentially different behavior types, and the 3 main ones are pre-contemplation, which is kind of when you're not doing much, behavior, when action, when you're really in something, it's not necessarily maintainable, but you're doing something to achieve something at the end of it, and then maintenance, which is everyone's long-term goal, with some sort of mini action phases. So this is a phase which isn't going to last forever. It will be hard work, it will take effort, and then after the 6 weeks, generally what we do is we do a bit of a deload, a refeed, a diet break, and then we can go back from there. And it's just really nice to kind of have our eye on something and knowing that it's not going to last forever. It's often when people reverse out of a diet is when the weight generally creeps on because they've not really got a exit plan as such. So I won't go on this too long, but the strength that we're going to be doing is body weight with lots of flexibility work. Conditioning is just going to be aerobic work. Now, potentially I'll probably just do this via NEAT, so just your steps and just sort of going out for walks, etc. And I may include, as we're getting a little bit stronger, some kind of runs, but I think it'd be best if we start just with walks to start with, and I may just put them into a habit. I'll put those in with your 10,000 step goal a day. Nutrition, if possible, I quite like to start people on a lower carb, with sort of a lower carb and a deficit, of course, of some sort. And then by having the lower carbs, generally it's a little bit more easy to stick to, so in adherence, obviously the most important thing, and also there is some potential science to suggest when you're working with someone to get them healthier, it may be best just to reduce carbohydrates just a little bit at the start, so from a cellular level essentially. Supplementation. Now, what I'd say for these is fish oils, vitamin D, and a greens powder. I leave the client to get these. I want to put that into your own hands. I'd massively recommend these 3. I'm more than happy to link you through and you can buy these yourself. And I'd say to take them sort of most days if possible. The advice I normally give is to link it with another habit. It's what we call habit stacking. So potentially when you brush your teeth, you take these supplements. When you have your breakfast, something like that, so you don't forget. Fish oils are key. Generally, most people aren't getting enough omega-3s, and for heart health, which is one of your goals, this is key. Vitamin D is exactly the same, even though it is potentially slightly different now. It's sort of coming into nicer weather, but still worth taking. And then just a greens powder or a multivitamin to really make sure we're optimizing the micronutrients, which obviously do some of the essential jobs in the body. Okay, from here, going back, and we come to your program. So this is just sort of program that you're going to do. Now, obviously, we've not got a gym to work at, but our long-term goal is to go to the gym. So when you start your workout, it looks like this. I won't go through it too much. What we're doing is sort of least mode stuff. So it's very much sort of not too hard, getting your heart rate at sort of around the 150, 160 mark. And we're not looking at putting too much of a high intensity up there. We want it quite high volume, okay? So what I've done is I've done a lot of body weight stuff to start with. I've done sort of quite high reps, but the way that we're really gonna concentrate making sure that it's not too easy or that you can't lift with sort of a lot of weight is by controlling the tempo variable. So having a 3-0-1-0 tempo on every single lift. Please do ask me more if you want to know a little bit more about that, but it's essentially the 3 is always the eccentric part of the movement. By slowing that down, it basically makes it a lot harder to do a lot of reps of. So we've got the bodyweight squat, plank, press up, hollow rock hold and glute bridge, and we're going to do this twice round, 3 times a week, and then we finish off with a stretch. Please make sure that you prioritize the stretching as much as anything. You can do these first if you want. There's no real sort of rhyme or reason to the order that they're in. And then as shown yesterday, if you want to go through it like it says with the videos at the top, you can do as well. Try doing normal plank, but I've just basically put in both types. It's totally up to you. From here, we go to the various tracking methods that we do. So you'll see on your schedule that it will remind you to do these, and also I'll send an daily email to make sure that you do these as well. So your progress photos, if possible, once a week, back and front would be great, just because this is just, well, for obvious reasons, just a good metric and probably the best when weight is plateauing and measurements are plateauing as well. Your food diary, what you'll need to do here is you'll need to log on through my website on the members portal, and it's a very easy there's very easy instructions to connect the URL link from your MyFitnessPal, which then integrates it over onto the app, so we can both see what you're doing as well. If you're having problems with that, I can help you out, but as I said, it is quite straightforward. Then we have your results tracking, which again will come up daily, and it unless you get a Fitbit, which will integrate through, which we can do the same there, it'll be through, you'll have to track your steps, which is just very simple. Just add in a result like so and say how many reps that you've done. So if you've done 8,000, great. If you've done 10,000, great. Really try and do this. You'll see that this is one of the most important things, because, in a way it's as important as intake, because that's a percentage massively of your energy expenditure. Sleep, if possible, would be great to track, and also weight. And if you want to put anything else in here like blood pressure, that's fine as well, or I can add that into that, but I know at the moment we're not tracking that on its own. So from here, just take you through to your I'll just quickly go to your habits. Now, the habits that I like to set people is it's called the marble test, and essentially what it is, and this will show you on your schedule. So if you go on to this check-in, it'll say here the marble test. Click test if you've done 4 of the following things. So hit your calorie target for the day, or have a plan to make amendments to hit your calorie targets later in the run week. 2, done your steps, or hit your goal steps, which is around 10,000 and above. Hit your protein intake, slept 7 to 9 hours, and completed your workout. So if you've done 4 of those things, essentially, imagine it in sort of real life, you're moving a marble from one cup to another, and we're essentially checking consistency here. What most people find is, without checking consistency,